Hi guys, I'm that crochet guy, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make your own Lana shoulder bag 23 inspired crochet bag. So this is something I made which was inspired by the Lana 23 bag, and I'll show you guys how to make yours in this video. Let's get into it. These are some of the tools we'll be making use of for this project. The first one is Patterns Highland bulky yarn. It's a 100-gram 75% acrylic 25% wool yarn. After that, we'll be making use of our scissors, and the hook we'll be making use of for this project is the 6mm hook. So this is it. Aside that, we also need our rings or D-rings depending on what you have, and yarning needles. So these are what we'll be making use of. We'll start by making 14 chains. So I'm just going to go ahead and make my 14 chains. After making 14 chains, we'll make single crochets going back into every chain. At the end of the row, this is what I have. So I just made single crochets from here going back, and now I have my first row. So this is my first row. I'm basically just going to chain one, turn, and continue making single crochets till I have 4 rows. Then I'll show you what next to do. Okay, so I'm currently at the 3rd row, and I just want to explain some things. Now, after the first row, you need to put a stitch marker, because the first row, we are technically not counting the first row. The first row is more like our seam allowance. Like if you are someone that sews, or if you have no idea about sewing, just know that it's basically the little space or gap you give so that when you're like sewing stuff together, the shape and the size of what you want still comes out correctly. So the stuff is not like smaller basically. So this is going to be our seam allowance. So the first row is the seam allowance, so we are not counting that row, we are ignoring that row. So this is basically for us row 1, row 2, which is why I put my stitch marker here. So this is my first row, this is my second row. And if you've watched my previous videos, how I explained how I count. So for my counting, I normally prefer going 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2. It helps me like play around and basically do what I need done. So if you look at this now, this is my first row. Like I just said, we're ignoring this first one because this is the seam allowance for us. So technically this is my first row for the front side of the bag, and I drew this to kind of like explain what I mean. Now if you look at the Lana 23 bag or the Lana bag 23, the front kind of looks like this. So this is what we have, and the front is kind of like divided into 2 parts. So this left part and this right part. So whatever we do for the left part, we're just going to mirror it and create the right part, then join them together. So this left part is what we are currently trying to do. So basically I'm trying to reduce on this side, which is this side. So I'm basically currently trying to reduce on this side. So whenever I say decrease, your decrease should be on this side because we are working on this side for now. When we are done with this side and we move to the right side, then we can then decrease for here. So I'm basically going to make 2 of this, one for the left, one for the right. When we are done, we then join it together. So now, as I mentioned earlier on regarding how I count, currently I'm on row 2.5. So this is row 1, row 2, then this half. So you can also call it beginning of row 3. For the decreases, we are decreasing, like I said, on this left side because this is the left half of the work of our bag. So we're decreasing on this left side. So whenever I say decrease, this is where we're decreasing. And for this one, we are going to have 12 rows in total. Now we currently have 2, we're on 2.5. We are going to have 12 rows in total. And for these 12 rows we have in total, we are going to decrease at row 3, row 6, row 9, and row 12. This is what I mean. When I say I count this as 2.5, if I were to chain, or rather finish my single crochets for this row, now I've completed row 2.5. If I chain 1 and turn, for me this is the beginning of row 3, because when I make single crochets going back, I'll have a complete row like how I have row 1 and row 2. So for me this is the beginning of row 3, and I just finished row 2.5. So now when I say reduce on row 3, 6, 9, and 12, for this left side, just know that you're basically decreasing at the back, because if I were to decrease in this first 2, so I'll just go in, pull up, go into the second one, pull up, and pull through all of them. Now I just decreased in this particular place. So I decrease these 2 single crochets into 1 single crochet, and then I'll continue making my single crochets up until the end. I no longer need to decrease anything. And basically the same way I've been making my single crochets, I'll keep on doing that till I get to row 6. So what I did here now, I basically just decreased on row 3, and like I told you, I finished row 2.5, chained 1, turned, decreased in the first 2, and started making my single crochets going back. And you can see this is row 3. So this is 1, 2, and 3. I just formed row 3 now. So I'm going to make single crochets going all the way back to this place. When I get here, I'll chain 1, and I'll keep on making my single crochet rows till I get to the ending of row 5.5, about to start row 6. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm currently on row 5.5, so you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this half that I started from here going this way. So I'm currently on row 5.5, and like I said, we are making decreases only on this side, and we're making decreases on row 3. The last decrease we made, or rather the first decrease we made, was here, and then we just continue making single crochets into everything till now. I'm currently at row 5.5, and once I finish row 5.5 and chain and turn, that will be the beginning of row 6 for me. So I'm just going to finish this up, and now I finish row 5.5. Now once I chain 1 and turn, this will be the beginning of row 6 for me. And at row 6 we also need to make a decrease at this side, because like I said, this is the left side of our work and we're decreasing on this side. So at row 6 we'll make a decrease, so we'll decrease these 2 first single crochets. So I go into it, let me just do that again, go into this stitch, pull up, go into the next one, pull up, and then pull through everything. So I just decreased row 6. If I turn it over, now you can see this is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 where we just decreased. And after row 6, we'll keep on making our single crochets into every stitch till we get to row 9. So like I said, we'll have decreases at row 3, row 6, row 9, and our final row, which is row 12. So now I just made a decrease here. The first place I made a decrease was at row 3, so 1, 2, I made a decrease here. The next place at row 6, 4, 5, I just made a decrease here now. Now I'll keep on making my single crochets into everything till I get to row 8.5, and when I go to the last one and chain and turn, that will be the beginning of row 9. I will decrease there, and I'll keep going till row 12. So I'll show you guys what I have when I get to row 12. If you did everything correctly, this is what you should have. So I currently have 13 rows. If I skip the seam allowance row, so I have 12 rows. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 rows. And like I said, we decrease at row 3, 6, 9, and 12. So those are where we made our decreases. So this is what you should have. So this is basically this half of the bag. So this half. So now we're going to make this handle for the bag. So to do that, when you get to row 12, you should have only 10 single crochet stitches left, because we started with 14 chains, which was 14 single crochets, and we decreased 4 times. So we basically took out 1 single crochet at each decrease. So you should have 10 here. If you don't have 10, then you probably did something wrong, but you should still be fine. So if I count, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I basically have 10 single crochets left on my work. So this is the first half of my work. Now for the handles, to make the handles, because this is the left side, we are going to count from here, because the handle needs to be somewhere here. So we need to put the handle here. So we're going to count from here. So if we count 7, on the 8th one, that is where we're going to start our handle single crochets. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on the 8th one, that is where I'll start my single crochet. You can either count it that way, or you can basically be like, if this is where my hand is going to be, just go on the 3 single crochets from that side. So for this, we're just going to attach our yarn and make single crochets till we have 10.5 rows. So now I'm done counting the rows for this part of the bag. Now I'm going to start counting the rows for the handle of the bag. So if I was to chain 1, I basically just added my yarn. Then I'll just make single crochet into the remaining 2, so that I'll have 3 single crochets for the handle. That's basically what we are working towards. So now don't forget how I count. I basically made row 12.5, but I'm going to start again and start counting afresh from this, because I want to just count this separately as the rows for the handle. So for me, I just made row 0.5 for the handle. If I chain 1 and turn, I'm going to the 3 that I just made. My row 1 will be complete. So as you can see, I just made the first row for the handle. You can call it row 13, but I just want to start counting afresh. So this is row 1 for the handle. And I'm just going to keep on making single crochets till I get to row 10.5. If you did everything correctly, this is what you should have. So now I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half. I have 10 and a half rows for the handle, and I'm done making the handle. So basically everything we did for the left, we're just going to mirror it to the right. If you want to make it easier for you, you can basically repeat everything that we did here without mirroring it, and just turn your work this way and then join both of them. To finish this up, we just need to make like the remaining parts here. So to do that, I'm going to start from here. And for the left side, the reason I'm starting from here is because I want the single crochet rows I'm making to kind of like curve inward. But if I was making for the right side, I will start from here. So it's kind of like curves. Okay, so it kind of like curves this way. So if I start from here, the single crochet rows I'm making will curve inward. If I'm making for the right side, I won't start from the bottom, I'll start from the top, because this will be the right. So I'll start from here so that everything curves inward this way, so that when we put it, it's curving inward this way, and the left is curving inward this way. So you still see what I mean. To make the remaining parts, don't forget this first row is seam allowance, so we are not counting this. So we are starting from this row, and instead of starting from this particular place where row 1 ends, we are going to where this seam allowance row ends, we are going to start at the middle of row 1. So for the middle of row 1, we have this as the middle of row 1, and this is the end of row 1. So if I start in this middle of row 1, which is here, which is what we have here, if I start in the middle of row 1, I'm basically just going to add my yarn and then make single crochets all along or across the entire length of the work. So for it to add my yarn, I'll chain 1, and when I add my yarn and chain 1, I can pull this in, because when we come back this place, we're not going to go into this last one, we'll just end here. So once I chain 1, I can then start making my single crochets. And when you're making your single crochets for this one, because it's not like the normal rows as we're going, the spacing or the holes you need to go into, you need to just use the single crochets, these single crochet rows you already made, to watch where you're going into. Like if you look from the back where I went into this one, the middle of this one is actually the end of one at the back. So if I'm making my single crochets, I'll make my single crochets normally, but then the spaces or the spacing which I'll go into are like the end and the middle of the ones we are seeing at the back. So here is the end, I went in here. The next one will be this middle here, so I'm going to go in here. The next one will be this end here, so I'll go in here. The next one will be this middle here, so I'll go in here. The next one will be this end here, so I'll go in here. Next one, this middle, I'll go in here. Next one, this end, I'll go in here. This is how you make it so it looks nice, because if you make one here and you just jump to this one without making a single crochet here, your work won't look nice. So you need to follow it accordingly. So that's basically where we are going to be making our single crochets, and we're going to make, for this one, we'll make 2.5 single crochets, so, or 2.5 rows rather. So we're going to make single crochets, I'm just losing this, we're going to make single crochets from here up until the very end here, and go back till we have 2.5 rows. So let me just make a bit with you guys so you understand exactly what I mean. Now, like I said, I just went in at the end here. Now the next place I'll go into is the middle of this row. So I'll go in here, make my single crochet. The next place I'll go, the end here, make my single crochet. And one more thing I forgot to mention, at the end or at the base of the bag here, this particular side, whether it's on the left or the right side that we're working on, we are currently working on the left side of the bag. If I turn this way, this is the left side. So whether it's on the left or on the right, at the end here, whenever we start and come back here, we are basically going to be making 3 single crochet decreases. When we're decreasing this part here, or rather if I turn it this way, when we're decreasing this part, we decrease at row 3, 6, 9 and 12, and we made 2 single crochet decreases. But now on the side here, whenever we come back here, like now I just started here, so I'm not making any decrease. I'm going to go to the end. Once I come back here, the last 3, I'll make 3 single crochet decreases, chain 1, make 3 single crochet decreases, and go back. So each time we get back here, we'll make 3 single crochet decreases. I'll still show you what I mean. So now I'm just going to continue making single crochets into each and every stitch here along till I get back here. Okay, so I'm currently at the end of the row. So I just went from here back to this place. And now if you see, or if you count it, you still have 3 single crochets left. Don't forget I told you this first one is the seam allowance, so we are counting from this first row. And if you remember, we started from this one, the middle here. But like I told you, as we are going this way, when we are coming back, we're going to skip doing any single crochet in this middle. The reason is that I want basically the stuff to like curve, so I don't want to like make single crochets and have you like looking bulky here. So I'm going to skip this one and then count the last 3 rows as the second, third and fourth. So if you count from here, this is the first, skipping this one, then the second is this one, so this is the first one I'll be counting. The third is this one, I'll be counting it as the second, and the fourth is this one, I'll be counting it as the third. I'm going to make my 3 single crochet decrease in this 3. So I'm going to go into this one, pull up, go into the next one, pull up, and go into the last one, and then pull up. And now I have 4 on my hook, and I'll pull through everything. I'll then chain 1 and turn and do the same thing on this side. So into this first one, I'll go in, pull up, go into the second one, pull up, go into the third one, pull up, and then pull through everything. So when I'm done, I'll have something like this. So now I've done my single crochet decreases. I'm going to keep on making normal single crochets into each and every stitch, go, come back again, make 3 single crochet decreases, the other side, 3 single crochet decreases like I just did, and keep on going. Now if you look at it, you can clearly see that this line here is the demarcation where we have the handle of the bag we made and the single crochets that we are making by the side here now. So this line that you're seeing here is basically what differentiates or demarcates both halves. So if you ignore this line and count this, this is already 1 row. And like I told you, I started from here for the left side because I wanted it to curve inward. If you look on the outside as well, you can see that same line here. So when I'm done, we're going to have something that curves this way, which is why I started from here. But then if you are doing for the right side, or when we are doing for the right side, I'll start from this place so that it will curve like this other way. Now, like I was saying, we currently have 1 row. So we're going to repeat what I just did till we have 2.5 rows. So now this is our 1 row. I just started row 1.5 here. So I'm going to keep on going till I have 2.5 rows. Then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, if you did everything correctly, this is what you should have. We currently have 2.5 rows. So this is the first row, this is the second row, and this small one is the half row. And we basically went from here to this side, and we're meant to come back this way, but we're not going to come back from here. So now to finish up the 3rd row, because basically for this half of the bag, or like the handle of the bag, here is going to be 2.5 rows, while from below the handle is going to be 3 rows. So since we started from here and we went here, we'll then try to like align where to start or where to complete the 3rd row from like this part here. You could either do it this way, like if you look at the top here, this single crochet stitches, if you just follow this line, we'll start here, or to make it easier for you, count 22 from the top going down. So if you count 22 stitches or chains from the top going down, you will end here on the 22nd one. So in this 22nd one, that's where we're going to connect our yarn and finish up the 3rd row. So if we connect our yarn in this 22nd one, we'll just finish up the 3rd row. so which is what you have here. And don't forget, when I get to the end, I'll still do my 3 single crochet decreases. And like I told you, as I started off from here, I'm basically completing my 3rd row. So now for this part, counting from this demarcation line, if I count, this will be 1, 2, 3 rows. So basically from here going down till where we'll make our last 3 single crochet decreases, it's going to be 3 rows. So I'll just finish that up so you see what I have. So when you turn your work this way, this is what you have. So this is what you have. This is our handle, and this is basically where we start making everything. To see it clearly, you can look at it from the back. Now the next thing left is basically to sew this in. So when I mean sew it in, what I mean is basically from this demarcation line, you kind of like fold it in to match up with the handle here. So let's here match up with here. So I'm basically folding it in this way. We'll fold it in this way, and try to like align it very well. So I'm basically folding it on this demarcation line. So that's where we are folding it. So we'll have something that looks like this. So we have something that looks like this. So when you fold it, you should have something that looks like this. If I turn it this way, this is what we'll have. For the stitching, like I said, you're basically just going to stitch across this line. So it's going to like slant a bit. So I've already gone ahead to attach my yarn to my yarning needle, and I'm basically just going to stitch on the straight line this way. So if I turn it this way, this is what I'm doing. I already attached one here. So if I pick it up, I'm basically just trying to go on that line. You can do it however you feel comfortable, but the whole point is to stitch on the line this way, so that when we're done stitching, we'll have like a little bit of opening like this, because we're still going to use this later on in the project. So we'll have like a little bit of opening this way. So I'm basically just stitching on this line. So I'm just going to try to stitch in a straight line, going into this and coming out from this one. So I'm basically just going in a straight line. So I'll keep on doing that. You can do it 2 times just to reinforce your stitches, but it depends on you. So as you can see, I'm basically just going in a straight line. So I'll keep on going this way and stitching it. Don't forget to fold it properly and make sure it's properly folded before you start stitching. So if I turn it this way, this is what I'll have. I still have my rows properly bent or properly curved. So this is what I have. So I'll just stitch in a straight line till I get to the top here. Now when we get to the handle of the bag, we'll continue doing it the same way we went here, but then now the only difference is that we'll try to match up the front and the back. So if we go into the front here, we'll come out at the back, and then when we go into the back, we should come out at the front. So my point is, when doing the handle or when stitching the handle, we are not going over this way. So I'm not going to like go in here for the yarn to like stitch it over this way. You can do that if you don't mind, but for this one I prefer doing it like this. When I come out at the back here, I'll then go in this place and come out here, and when I come out here again, I'll go in this place and come out here. I've forgotten what this kind of stitching is called, but this is exactly what I mean. So this is how I'm going to stitch the handle. So I'll just keep on doing this till I get to the top of the bag. So I just got to the top of my hand, or the top of my handle, and this is what I have. So if I turn it this way, this is what the bag is looking like. And this, like I said earlier on, is the first half of our bag. So basically everything we did for this one, we are going to mirror it and do for the right side. What do I mean? We basically started by making the seam allowance row. We'll do that for the right side, and then when we get to row 2.5, instead of decreasing on this side for row 3, we'll be decreasing on this side. So for row 3, after 2.5, when we chain 1 and turn, that will be the beginning of row 3. And for this one, for the left side, we decreased here. But then this time around, we are going to decrease at the end of row 3. So we are not decreasing at the beginning of row 3, we'll decrease at the end of row 3, which will be here. So it slants this way. So we're basically mirroring everything we did here. We're just moving it to this side. That is all. Same thing with the handle. When we get to the top, we are just going to crochet in this 1, 2, 3. These first 3, make our 3 single crochets till we have 10.5 rows. And like I said earlier on, because this one I wanted it to curve this way, I started from here. But for the right side, when we're mirroring it, we'll start making our single crochets from the top here down, reduce 3 single crochet, decrease, and basically the same thing as we did here. We're just mirroring it to the other side. So I'll show you what I have. So now this is the right side of the bag, and like I said, it's basically a mirror copy of what we had on the left. Normally on the left, we're going to like reduce this side when we go to row 3. I'm currently on row 2.5, so you can see this is row 1, this is row 2, and I'm currently on row 2.5. Now if I make my single crochets and get to the end of our work, at the end here, if I was making, or if we're making the left side, I would reduce here, because once I chain 1 now and turn, it will be row 3. So if I were to chain 1 and turn, it will be row 3. So if this was the left side of our work, I would reduce here. I will make the 2 single crochet reductions here. But because we are reducing on the right side, I will reduce here. So I won't reduce here. I will make single crochets from here till I get to the ending, which is this side. And then when I get to the end, in this last 2 single crochets, I'll then make my decrease, my 2 single crochet decreases in this last 2. Chain 1 and turn. Now as you can see, I just decreased in this side. This is my row 3. Now I'm about to start row 3.5. I won't be making any decreases. I'll just continue making my single crochets all along the entire thing till I get to row 6. And for row 6, I'll do the same thing. When I get to row 6, I'll decrease in this part, row 9, decrease in this part, row 12, decrease in this part. And basically every other thing I did for the left side, we'll just repeat it for the right side. If you did everything correctly, this is what you should have. So this is the right side. This was the side we did on camera, the left side, and this is the right side. So like I said, we just mirrored everything we have onto this side. So we reduced on this side, we reduced at 3, 6, 9, 12, and then made the handles in the last 3 from this side. Our handles are still 10.5 rows, and then we also worked the same thing we did for the back of this one. Worked it the same way, reduced 3 single crochets this place both ways, so coming and going. So this is what we have for the right side. Now all that is left to do is basically to join both of them together. And like I said, if you are not able, or if you are finding it hard to mirror what we have on the left side, you can just make the left side again and then turn it this way, basically. Now the next part is basically to join both halves. So we'll join from here down, and we'll also join the handle. And while joining the handle, you need to like, the handles are basically straight this way. So while joining it, you need to like bend it towards us this way. So if the handles are like on the table, you need to like fold it or bend it out towards us. So this side is like pointing towards you, and we'll be joining the handle this way. So we'll start by joining the body of the bag here. So you're just going to like connect your yarn. And for the joining, it will be easier if you are joining the same way when we're crocheting the single crochets for this side. I told you to like use the middle or the end and the middle to like watch how you're, or use those stitches as the single crochet stitches for when we're crocheting this side. So the same thing when you're joining, to make sure everything matches together, we're basically going to join this top to this top, this bottom to this bottom, this middle to this middle. So we're basically joining the top of each row, the bottom of each row, the middle of each row, the bottom of each row, the middle of each row, the bottom of each row. So everything like matches up. So if I were to do a bit with you guys, I would do something like this. So I'm basically going from this top and I'm going into this top, so going through the back, and I'll have something that looks like this. And the next place I'm going to join is the bottom here to the bottom here. So if I go in this way and I come out at the other side, so I have something that looks like this. And you can see the top matches and it looks nice. And now the next part will be the middle here and the middle here. So I'll go into the middle here and come out through this other side. So everything looks okay. So I'm just going to keep on doing that. The bottom here and the bottom on this side. I'll join here to here, join here to here, join here to here, join here to here, till I get to the base. And for the handles, the same thing. Like I said, you need to like bend it towards you this way, and then basically connect this side to this side. So you're basically just stitching. If I were to show an example, you're basically holding both of them together this way, and the same thing I'm doing here, stitching the top here, you go in, come out here, go through the same place here, and then come out. So basically just stitching this way, if I can explain it that way. So that's basically what you need to do, and you need to do this, everything we did for this one, you need to make 2 of it. So this is something I've already done. So like I said, you just need to stitch it down, and when you're done, the handle as well, if you can see clearly the way I stitched it. So from top, back, here, come out here, go into the next one, back, here, come out here. So that's how you like stitch it, and when you're done, just fold it towards you this way, because that's what you want. So this is what you should have. So you need to make like 2 of these. For the next part of the bag, we'll just start by making 19 chains. After making our 19 chains, we're just going to make single crochets into each stitch, going back to make our first row. Okay, so I just finished my first row. This is what I have, and I'm going to continue making single crochets into each and everything. At the end of row 12.5, this is what you should have. So I currently have 12.5 rows. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, and I have, so this is what we have for the side, and you need to make 2 of this. So you basically need to have 2 of this, and your side is done. The next part will be to crochet the base of the bag. So to make this, all you need to do is make 17 chains and then make 20 rows. So as you can see, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. So 17 chains and 20 rows, and the base is done. And once you're done, on the right side or on the front, just put stitch markers after the second row. So from this side, 1 2, after the second row, we'll put stitch markers here, and from this left side, after the second row, we'll put a stitch marker here as well. When you do that, you turn to the back. So basically, while we put those stitch markers are the place where we are going to be joining the other parts of the bag, like the side. So you need to bring this part of the bag that we made. This is our front, this is our back. So we're basically placing this side, which is the front, on top of here. And don't forget, when we're making all of this, the first row is our seam allowance row, so we are stitching here. So if I turn to the back, this particular place, the top here, is basically just going to be this middle part here. So basically everything along this part. So this is where we'll be stitching. So all you need to do is take this part, match it up with here. So if I take here and try to match it up with this place, which is the first row, which is our seam allowance row, if I take it and try to match it up, and why I said put these stitch markers on the second row from each side is because when I match it up, this is going to go basically on that second row, while this part as well goes on the second row. So we're basically matching it up this way, and matching it up this way is with this row 1. This place we have our row 1, which is our stitch, our seam allowance rather. So if I match that up properly, this is what I'll have. I'll have something that looks like this. So it's basically on top. If I fold it this way, this is what we are going to have once we are done stitching. So to do a bit with you guys, I already went ahead, added my yarning needle and started off here. So like I said, align this place with where we have a stitch marker, which is this row. Same thing with the edge here, with where we have a stitch marker, this row. And where we'll be sewing is basically here, which is the row 1 from the other side. So I'm just going to pick, just basically try to do it slowly and pick both. So I'm picking both this, and then stitching both of them together. You can do this 2 times or 3 times to like reinforce it, depending on you. At the end, this is what you should have. If I like fold this over this way, this is the base of our bag. This is where we just joined it, so it should look something like this. So like I said, we joined it at the first row. So the first row is our seam allowance row, so we joined it here, and if I turn it over, it looks like this. Same thing we are going to do for the second side. So for the second side, we are basically just going to match it up same way we did for the first, match it up and join both. And when you're done stitching this, the next step will be like this part, you need to fold it in on the second row. So this is the first row, second row, this is the back of the base of the bag, well, this is the front of the base of the bag. So we are working on the back side of the base of the bag. So still on the 2 rows, you're basically just going to, from where the 2 rows is starting or where the second row is starting, fold it in till you have 1, 2 rows, and this part is basically hidden in this way. So then we're just going to stitch on this place. So stitch here, same thing with this part. After stitching this part or stitching this side of the bag to the base, then you fold in this part till you have 2 rows, then you stitch in or stitch this part. So if you sewed everything correctly, this is what you should have. Like if I bend this way, you see that it aligns very well with the edge of the bag. Same thing with this other side. So if I just show you this, it aligns very well with the edge of the bag, and this is the back of the bag, or the base of the bag basically. So the next step will be to join the sides of the bag. So don't forget, our seam allowance is the first row, and if we turn it to the back, it's basically here. So this is basically where we'll be stitching. So for the side of the bag, you need to stitch here with this place, so basically here. And for this side, you need to stitch here with this place. This is what you have after joining everything. So I've already went ahead to join this side. So if I flip this over this way, this is how here looks. Same thing with this other side. If I flip it this way, this is how it looks. So like I said, I joined it here on the first row, which was our seam allowance row. So this is what we have, and we are almost done. The final step will be to sew everything together. So it will be easier if you like just turn everything this way. So we're basically like folding it this way. So you can start from whichever side you want to start. You can choose to start from this side. So I'll prefer you start from the top and sew to the bottom. So you're basically just going to hold this way. So this is why I said this part, and for the other side as well is basically what we'll be using to stitch, which is why I said when we're stitching this part, you should leave like this little space. So if we were to start from this side, you're just going to take here and match it up with the top here. So we'll start something like this, hold it this way, and then with our needle sew this way, holding it and going down this way. So this is how we'll do here. Same thing for this other side. Basically hold here, match it up with the top here, and then hold these two and sew across. So basically just holding it this way and sewing this way till we get to the bottom. Same thing we'll do for this other side. Like if I turn this way, so basically just sewing everything short. I'm just going to sew mine now, and then we'll see what we have. So like I said, if I were to do one with you guys, it will be something like this. Take this, match it up with here, and then start sewing from here. So you can try to like align it very well to make sure everything looks good. Okay, so if you are seeing everything well, it should be going fine this way. So this, you should have something that looks like this by now. And I just wanted to like mention something real quick. Like when you're sewing it, or when you're stitching both sides together, you're basically stitching not the top here, but like you need to like go to the bottom here, like this second, should I say this second part. Just try to go close to this place where you stitch this one and this one. So try to go close to this place, and when you're joining into this one, don't go to the first one, but try to go to like the second or third one, so that we'll have like this this kind of shape here. So when it's like this, when we flip the bag over, it will look exactly how we want. So if I'm stitching these two together, I'm just going to do something like this. I'll try to go under this way, so I can start from like the top here and into this one. I'll go like on the second one here, so something like this. So the top here, so I match up both of them, and I have something that looks like this. So we have to do this again and like tie off this place. It will look something like this basically. So then I'll then calmly stitch the bottom and this side, and keep on doing like that while I work my way down. So that's basically what I wanted to like point out or mention. So it needs to go like that. So I'm going like from down here and coming out on like the second or third one here, not this first one. So this is how I stitch, or how I stitch this side. So I've already done this. I've done this. I have these two to go. So when I'm done with these two, I'll show you what I have. After sewing everything, this is what I have. This is what my bag looks like. So I haven't like turned it inside out yet, so this is still the wrong side of the bag. Before doing that, what I did was like put the two handles together and like press this side, because we are going to add the rings to this side now. All you need to do is basically just chain 5 and make one row. So I'm basically just going to chain 5. So I'm making 5 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then make single crochets back in these 5 chains I just made. So I'm basically just making single crochets back to finish up our first row. And once I'm done doing this, then we'll start attaching the rings to the bags. So the rings are basically where we'll be able to connect the chains, if you like to use chains, or different charms that you like to use for your bag handle. So I'm just going to pull this a bit, cut this off, and this is good to go. So we need to make 2 of this, one for the ring for this side, one for the ring for this side, because we have 2. So if I were to just put this into my ring this way and like hold it, if I'm holding like the bottom of the ring, we'll have something that looks like this. So now all I'm going to simply do is open it this way and basically just attach it to this place. So I want to have something that looks like this. So I'm going to stitch from here to this other side where the other end of this ring crochet stuff is, and basically just hook it in this way, so the final stuff looks like this. So if I'm doing that, I'm going to do it with this one, which I've already threaded. So my crochet or my yarning needle connected, I'm basically just going to attach this way. So this is how I'm holding it, and I'm basically making it sit on this place. So I'm pinching this way and then putting it in the middle here. So I'm then going to stitch from this side to the other side. So once I do that, I'll have something that looks like this. So I'm basically stitching this particular end. So I'll do that a few more times, and when I'm done, the ring should look like this. So this is what it will look like. So when I finish this side, I'll do the same thing for this side. Then when you're done doing that, you can then open the bag and like flip it to the right side. So I'll show you the final bag once I'm done doing this too. So this is the final bag. This is what it looks like. I've already gone ahead to like turn it inside out, so the wrong side of our bag is inside while this is the right side. So I basically also designed it with these charms to like beautify the bag more. So this is what we have. This is what the side looks like. And basically, yeah, that's all. We are done. So if you guys like this kind of video, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, share it, save it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.